Thanks, Zona, and thanks, Paul, as well. Zona, you should know I took the liberty of calling your office this morning to have a chat to them about how crazy they think you are. And, I took a look at your LinkedIn and stuff as well, and it's crazy for me, the impact you want to have on the world and the extraordinary things you're doing, be it some of the stuff around the islands and your work, to advocate with the UN, be it your stuff in Bangladesh as well. And we totally agree with you and Paul in that there is 100% a proven need for social business in the world, and that, it is totally something that the world needs to take on. But what I think you all missed is that that does not at all mean that it is not crazy. So before we start, for the sake of my own sanity and making sure that I don't appear in a messed up way at all, I want to have a look at what crazy actually means, okay? So I Googled it, and Oxford Dictionary lists 3 things for crazy. The first one is mad, like, not fully there, like the lights are on, but no one's home. Things just are not right. And I don't think that's what we're talking about here. The second one is enthusiasm, like a zealous enthusiasm, just going after things. And the third thing about crazy things is that they do not conform to society's idea about what is normal. In my opinion, crazy, how crazy social entrepreneurship is and social enterprises are, that does not at all mean like they're relevant, but it's absolutely crazy, okay? So I totally get what you said, and there is a proven need, but it is still an absolutely crazy idea. I'm gonna demonstrate this with you all right now. In a moment, what I want you all to do, not yet, is I want you to reach forward, and under your chair, you will find something that I've taped to the bottom of your chair. And on the count of 3, I want you all to do that, and then bring it up and show it to me. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Great, thank you everyone. You've proven my point, and you are all crazy as well. Now, what you found under your chair was nothing. You found absolutely nothing. Nothing at all. And I think that's what makes social business so crazy. Because as social entrepreneurs, and as people looking to impact the world, we have to take nothing and turn it into something. And not just anything at all, but something with the potential to revolutionize society. And if that's not crazy, I don't know what is. Now, one of the most wonderful things about starting with nothing is if you fail, and by the way, I failed a lot, you still have most of nothing left at the end, which is absolutely wonderful. But I hold that social entrepreneurship and social enterprises are a crazy idea. You're taking nothing and you're turning it into something. And if it was so commonplace, and if it was so accepted, I don't think that Professor Yunus would have taken the time to write a book about the topic, and I don't think that we would be having this event today with all of you wonderful human beings. I want to touch briefly on how crazy I am as a social entrepreneur. I lead an organization called Future You, and a bunch of my colleagues are here today. We believe that young people can create an intentional and deliberate future that aligns with who they are. You know how crazy that is? Like, my task in the past 2 weeks was to speak to a few dozen principals at schools all across New South Wales about this ridiculous vision that people can create a future that they love. And it's been extraordinary, but we took that nothing and turned it into something. I remember, when we first closed our first sponsor for the event, when this idea that we reached from under our chair turned into something miraculous. It was astounding. Just to give you another quick example, I used to do some high school tutoring. I had a tutoring student a while back. He said that he wanted to become an electrician. He was very demotivated and that kind of thing. I asked him 2 questions. The first one was this: what would you do for the rest of your life if money was no object and it was impossible to fail? And the second one was this: if you could have the world look any way at all in 5,000 years because of your life, how would you like it to look? Now, those questions changed his thinking and they transformed his life. But as a tutor, it is extraordinarily crazy to ask that kind of question and to go down that path of thinking. And I think one of the advantages I have personally as a young person is I know the rules less. So there's a lot more freedom for me to break them and go beyond traditional ways of thinking. And that leads me to round out my argument, which is crazy ideas, they're absurd. And they have the potential to impact the world because of that absurdity. To close, two things. First of all, the only thing you have to do in life is die. Everything else, seriously, everything else is optional. And I would highly encourage you all to have a look at social entrepreneurship. It's one of the most powerful ways to impact the world. And I can say for myself that I will be continuing to do it for the rest of my life. Right? As Steve Jobs said, the people who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the ones who do. Thank you.